Hey guys, so if you're here for our normal tomfoolery or our travel stuff, then this isn't the video for you. So you might want to skip this week. But if you're interested in 1,000 Trails, which is something we said we would probably never do because it doesn't really work for us, we did it. So we are now 1,000 Trails members.
You should explain what that is, because we're also Getaway members, and there's other things out there.
We are members of a lot of things, but 1,000 Trails is expensive one, rather than the $20 or whatever Good Sam is or something. So 1,000 Trails is a membership program. So you pay for an annual membership, and you can stay at any of the 1,000 Trails parks, dedicated parks that there are. Now they do. So they do add-ons to that as well. So you become a member and you get one free area, I think. So we're obviously in Florida right now, so we got the 1,000 Trails Southeast membership. You can add different areas in, like Southwest, I can't remember, I think there's 5 of them, maybe 6. You can add those on, so if you're traveling all around the country throughout the year, you can pay the membership and add all of those different areas on. There are other add-ons as well. So one that we actually did was the Encore, or the 1,000 Trails collection, can't remember, I'll link to it below. And we're not affiliated by any means, we get no sponsorship from this at all. We just want to tell you why and what 1,000 Trails is. So we got that Trails collection, which means that some RV parks, they will dedicate maybe, I don't know, 5 or 10 spaces to 1,000 Trails, and they will have an affiliation with them. So even though it's not a 1,000 Trails dedicated park, there are a few spaces available, and we'll tell you why that's good in a moment. So the first reason is, why would we not do this? One is because we're not traveling full time.
That's beautiful.
Sorry if you heard that strange noise in the background. We're not traveling full time right now due to COVID. So we thought it's probably not worth it this year. Maybe if we're traveling a lot more, then we would find it useful. So we didn't do it for that reason. The other reason is we like not being restricted to certain areas and certain parks. We like to pick and choose based on price and whether they allow Dobermans. Obviously we have, so some parks have restrictions on that. Number of pets, the length of your trailer, things like that. So we didn't want to be tied to just 1,000 Trails, and we wanted to be able to experience, other places and not feel like, because we've paid the membership, we have to stay at 1,000 Trails, because there are some really cheap RV parks. So yeah. We've stayed, I think our cheapest was what, $18 a night for full hookups.
Yeah, that was great.
So there are things around, and that was a private campground as well. Anyway, so why did we decide to finally buy 1,000 Trails? Well, ultimately it was basically the Wayward Waggs' fault, if I'm honest.
They went to an exclusive campground so that we couldn't visit them over the New Year.
Exactly. So we knew last year, if you watch back, and I can link to the video here. Boop. I can never remember. It's one of these corners. There'll be a link there. Last year we decided to move campgrounds on New Year's Eve because we went to a creepy RV park. There was nothing wrong with the park. We explained it in the video, but we just didn't feel like we fit there. So we didn't get to our new campground until late on New Year's Eve, and it was the quietest New Year's Eve I think we've ever had. So this year we said we're going to do something. We called the Waggs and we said, hey, if we come traveling down to Florida, are you cool to spend New Year's with us and hang out and have a few drinks and things? So they said, yep, that's cool, but we're at 1,000 Trails. So we immediately went on 1,000 Trails website, didn't want to sign up or anything, just wanted to see how much the campground was, and I think we had a quote for something like $849 for 10 days or 12 days, something like that. And so I spoke to them and said, look, that's a bit much, we might stay somewhere near. And they said, well, just pay for the membership. You can pay an annual membership for like $4.99. So that's what we went ahead and did. We paid for that membership. But interestingly, this is something that was annoying us. That's
something to watch out for if you're thinking about
watch
doing
out
the same.
for this. So we went to pay cash and booked it, and we held the reservation. We didn't pay for it, we held it, and it was a waiting payment. Then we signed up and we went to book it as a member, and there was nothing available. Yeah. So I immediately phoned them up.
And said, oi.
I phoned them up and said, hey, we went to pay for this, we've just signed up, the only reason we're signing up is for this, and I will give them their dues. They move stuff around to fit us in. Now I don't know whether that's because we're a new member or whether they do that for everyone, but it was brilliant service. The lady and the guy who phoned me, they sorted it all out, and they sorted out our booking so that we could stay here. So that was cool. So basically, I think overall we paid the $4.99 for the membership, for the Southeast membership, and then we paid an extra $2.79, I think, for the Encore. which means we can stay in those parks with a few thousand trail spaces. Now, the reason we did that, this is a good reason. On our way down here, we knew that we were coming down over 3 days. So we knew the first night we mooch stock with Foreverland RV, Chief and D, thank you very much again. We mooch stock with them, and then the 2 nights afterwards, we actually found Encore properties that we could stay at on the way down. So basically, from when we left, we're just about to leave Thousand Trails now, but when we left, since we've left, we've stayed, I don't even know how many days it is. It's been, what? 14 days, I think now, maybe something around that, and it's cost us nothing other than our Thousand Trails membership. And we'll take Chief and D out for dinner one time, but apart from that, that's all it was. So that's why we signed up, really. If you are interested, they do the membership online, but I said do again. But you can buy old resale Thousand Trails memberships. Yeah,
this ultimately confused me when the Waggs phoned us and said, oh yeah, we bought a resale package. I'm like, well, I don't understand. Are you locked in for life? Why are people having to resell? Like, what's the point of that?
Yeah, it's so you could, I think it's an old thing. You could be grandfathered in. It's a contractual thing. So people would buy old Thousand Trails members, which means that they have different contracts, right? So there's a lot of different things about that. Dustin was saying the reason why they bought it, and just to give you an idea, I think on average there's lots of different packages you can buy, or there's 4 main packages you can buy for that, and I think they're between like $2,000 and $6,000. But the big difference is with the old ones compared to the new ones that you can still buy is that they have a lot of different things, like you can book 120 days in advance. With our membership, we can only book 60 days in advance. So everyone else who's got these old memberships, they can book like way in advance. And one thing interesting here, this year is a bit different, so we were lucky to get in, but if we hadn't booked on the day, even when we booked on the day that we did, which was 60 days in advance,
we're still booked up.
They were still booked up and had to move stuff for us, and that's because the people who have these old contracts can book 120 days in advance. So just bear in mind about that. That's one big thing there. There are other little things about it as well. We haven't looked into it too much because I don't think we're going to do this in the short term. But
I feel like Waggs have done a video on their membership.
So check out the Wayward Waggs. They talk about it a lot, and actually Getaway couple do a really good blog post on this, and it explains all the different things.
Levels.
But it is things like you can book way in advance. You can stay longer at places. You don't have to get out the system. I think we can only be in the system for 14 days, and then we have to get out and then come back. Lots of little things like that. So if you are interested and you're doing this seriously and you are full time, maybe you might want to have a look at those different options. It's probably worth it. For us, it's not. So anyway, I think that's about all we have to say. We're currently at Thousand Trails Orlando. It's such an amazing place.
It's huge though. Oh my goodness, it's got like 1,500 spaces or something. I don't think I've ever been at a campsite this big. But it's fantastic for dog walking because it's a good 40-minute walk just to walk around the outside of this park.
It is. And there's lots of different sections here, and so if you check out our video last week, we covered this a little bit in that, but there's like D section, which is all covered in trees. We're in the new section where everything is immaculate.
No shade though. So I will point out that I would not stay in the new section over the summer because it's gonna be very hot.
It will be hot. I mean, you can if you've got 3 ACs and you know it's all 50 amp and it's all very nice and the pads are brand new and the roads are brand new and you know it's all very nice. The grass, you can still see the lines where they've rolled out the sod or turf. I think it's sod here. We call it turf in the UK. Anyway, so all of that is very nice. So it's immaculate. Also, I just want to quickly talk about Thousand Trails Orlando. Everyone has said that the internet connection here is so bad, even on your cell phones and everything. And it is.
It is, yeah.
But we haven't found it to be as bad as
some
people have.
we're AT&T, right?
We're AT&T. The Waggs had Verizon, and they really struggled to do
unbearable.
anything. We have managed to do a lot of things. It gets worse in the evening when people obviously go home and they want to stream stuff. During the day, I work during the day, so I have been working during the day on video calls all day long. All of my stuff for work is all cloud stuff, and it worked fine. A little bit slow, but it was fine. Generally, it didn't cause any major issues. So internet is okay with AT&T, but I wouldn't rely on having good internet here because all of them, everything we've heard from everyone, all of the cell phone providers are pretty bad. And we haven't tried their wireless. You have to pay for it, but we've heard that that's pretty bad as well, so we haven't bothered. Did we miss anything?
Don't think so.
Good.
No.
All right. If you have any questions,
Ask someone else.
Ask someone else. No, if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer if we can. If not, I will link to the Getaway couple's blog post, which is really good, and that helped me get some details for this video. And the Waggs are a really good source as well. Both of those guys bought the resale stuff off a company who they both, who's very well known. If you're full-timer with Thousand Trails membership, so you'll probably know about resale stuff, but apparently they're very helpful as well. So I'll link to all this stuff below if you are interested. If not, good luck. What are we doing now?
I have no idea.
Let's go party.
Yay!
Alright, see you next week. Back to our normal stuff.
Oh my god, we're getting worse at this.
See you next.